There's something powerful about a life that is built by grit and driven by giving. Grit is the fire that keeps you moving when everything around you says quit. It's the quiet strength that refuses to back down even when the road feels long, even when the results are slow. Grit is not talent, it's not luck, it's not comfort. It's the determination to keep showing up, to keep believing, and to keep working when no one else sees what you're building. People with grit understand that greatness is not built overnight. It's built in the daily decisions to press forward when it would be easier to give up. Every scar, every failure, every lonely night becomes a brick in the foundation of something lasting. But grit alone is not enough. There's another force that gives your life purpose: giving. When your life is driven by giving, you move from ambition to mission. You stop living just for yourself and start living for something greater. Giving is not only about money, it's about spirit, time, encouragement, and compassion. It's about using what you've been given to lift someone else. The world measures success by what you get, but heaven measures it by what you give. A person driven by giving doesn't wait for everything to be perfect before they share. They give right in the middle of their process, because they know giving is what keeps the heart alive. When grit and giving come together, they form a life that cannot be shaken. Grit gives you strength to endure. Giving keeps your spirit soft and humble. Grit makes you strong. Giving makes you significant. Some people build their lives only on grit. They become hard, isolated, and weary. Others live only by giving without grit. They burn out and lose direction. But when you carry both, when your hands are strong from work and your heart is full from love, you become unstoppable. You build a legacy that outlives you. Every struggle you've survived, every tear you've cried, every obstacle you've overcome, it wasn't wasted. It was shaping your grit. And every act of kindness, every time you helped when no one noticed, every prayer you whispered for someone else, that was shaping your giving. Together they've been building you into someone powerful, someone purposeful, someone prepared to make an impact. You are not defined by what you lost. You are defined by what you gave while you were hurting, by how you kept going when it would have been easier to stop. When you live this way, your story becomes a light for others. People look at your life and see not just what you've achieved, but what you've endured and how you've poured into others along the way. That's real success. That's divine success. Built by grit means you didn't skip the process. Driven by giving means you didn't forget your purpose. And when those two forces meet, nothing can stand against you. So keep building, keep believing, keep giving. Let your grit be your backbone and your giving be your heartbeat. Because when your strength meets your generosity, when your perseverance meets your purpose, you don't just create success, you create legacy. You become living proof that a life built by grit and driven by giving will always rise, will always bless, and will always leave something eternal behind. Belief in change is the foundation of all growth, the invisible force that turns potential into progress. When you truly believe that you can become more, learn more, and achieve more, something inside you begins to awaken. It is not the belief that life will always be easy, but that you can adapt, improve, and overcome what stands in your way. Every person is born with seeds of greatness within, but those seeds only grow when watered by faith and consistent effort. The problem is that many people limit themselves by believing they are already at their limit. They accept labels, fears, and failures as their final identity, forgetting that no challenge defines who they are. When you adopt the mindset that change is possible, you open yourself to endless opportunities for transformation. The journey from who you are to who you can become begins the moment you decide that growth is not just for others, but for you as well. Change demands courage because it often feels uncertain. It asks you to step away from comfort and walk into the unknown. But comfort never produces character, and safety never builds strength. When you challenge yourself to do better, you awaken a creative force within your spirit that was sleeping all along. Every step of progress requires a small leap of faith, a willingness to take risks and to keep moving even when results are slow. The belief that you can grow gives you power over fear because you stop seeing failure as final and start seeing it as feedback. You begin to understand that every setback carries a lesson, every disappointment hides direction, and every delay can be used to develop discipline. The world may measure success by results, but real growth happens in the unseen moments when you choose to persevere despite not seeing immediate change. When you commit to personal growth, you stop competing with others and start competing with your past self. You begin to focus on progress, not perfection. You may not reach your goals overnight, but each small victory moves you forward. Even the smallest step counts when it is in the right direction. The belief in change helps you handle challenges with a calm spirit because you know you are still learning, still becoming. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift in mindset can turn pain into purpose and pressure into power. Growth is not only about skill, but also about character. It is about becoming more patient, more grateful, and more resilient as you move forward. Belief in change is what separates those who stay the same from those who rise above limitations. It is not intelligence, talent, or luck that makes the difference. It is the inner conviction that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you have the strength to rise again. Each new day is a fresh opportunity to rewrite your story and move one step closer to the person you were meant to be. Reframing stress as fuel is one of the most powerful shifts a person can make on their journey of growth. Most people see stress as something negative, something to escape from, but the truth is that stress can become a driving force when we learn how to use it wisely. Stress is not always a sign of weakness. Sometimes it is a signal that you care deeply about what you are doing. It shows that you are stretching beyond what feels easy or familiar, reaching for something that truly matters. When you change the way you think about stress, it changes the way your body and mind respond to it. Instead of being drained, you begin to feel energized, focused, and capable of handling more than you thought possible. Every great achievement has come through pressure. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Muscles are strengthened through resistance, and faith is proven through trials. The same applies to human growth. When challenges arise and responsibilities feel heavy, you are being given a chance to grow stronger from the inside out. The key is not to run from stress, but to reinterpret it as preparation. When your heart beats faster before a big opportunity, that is not fear defeating you, it is your body preparing to perform. When you feel tension before a breakthrough, it is often a sign that you are about to enter a new level of strength. Stress can sharpen your focus, increase your determination, and make you more aware of what truly matters. Instead of saying, "I'm overwhelmed," begin to tell yourself, "I'm being stretched." That small change in language can transform how you experience difficult moments. The words you speak shape the thoughts you believe, and the thoughts you believe shape the strength you release. Reframing stress means recognizing that discomfort is not destruction. It is a sign of development. It means learning to breathe through the pressure, to stay grounded when everything around you feels uncertain, and to remind yourself that this moment is not meant to break you, but to build you. When you embrace stress as part of your growth process, you stop resenting it and start respecting it. You begin to see that the very weight you wish to escape is the same weight that builds your endurance. People who achieve lasting success are not those who avoid stress, but those who channel it. They understand that energy, even when uncomfortable, can be redirected towards something meaningful. Stress can push you to pray harder, plan better, and perform with more purpose. It can remind you that you are alive and capable of more than you believe. The challenge is not to eliminate stress, but to master your response to it. When you stop seeing it as your enemy, you start using it as your strength. You begin to grow under pressure instead of collapsing beneath it, and what once felt like a burden starts becoming your brake. Purpose over profit is a mindset that transforms the way you live, work, and lead. When your motivation comes from a sense of meaning rather than material gain, everything you do begins to carry deeper fulfillment. Chasing profit alone may bring temporary satisfaction, but living with purpose brings lasting joy. Purpose gives direction to your actions, strength to your struggles, and light to your path when things feel dark. It reminds you why you started when challenges try to make you quit. Many people spend their lives running after success only to realize that success without significance feels empty. True motivation comes not from what you earn, but from how your efforts impact others and honor the values you hold inside when you place purpose above profit. Your work becomes an act of service rather than just a pursuit of reward. You begin to see people, not numbers, stories, not statistics, hearts, not transactions. Every task, no matter how small, becomes meaningful because it contributes to something larger than yourself. The world does not remember those who simply gained wealth. It remembers those who gave their gifts to uplift others. Purpose-driven people think beyond the paycheck. They ask, how can I make a difference? And who can I help through what I do? That kind of mindset creates excellence because when your motivation is pure, your work carries power and influence beyond measure. The reward becomes more than money. It becomes the satisfaction of knowing your life has made an impact. Purpose over profit also teaches patience. Profit looks for quick results, but purpose is willing to wait. When your heart is aligned with a higher reason for doing what you do, you learn to trust the process even when progress feels slow. You stop measuring your worth by how much you have and start measuring it by how much you give. This shift brings peace because you are no longer in a race with the world. You are walking in rhythm with your calling. You understand that fulfillment does not come from competing, but from contributing. Each step you take toward your purpose brings clarity, growth, and inner strength. You start to enjoy the journey rather than rushing toward a destination that never truly satisfies. Living with purpose also inspires others to do the same. When people see someone driven not by greed, but by genuine passion, it awakens something inside them. They begin to question what truly matters and seek meaning in their own work and relationships. Purpose spreads like light. It multiplies when shared. The most powerful leaders, creators, and dreamers are those who have learned that profit follows purpose, not the other way around. When your heart is centered on service, abundance naturally flows because the universe responds to the energy of giving. You become a vessel of blessing, a channel through which good things flow to others, and in that giving, you find the greatest return of all. High support and high standards create the perfect balance for growth, strength, and success. Many people either receive encouragement without accountability or pressure without compassion, but real transformation happens when both exist together. Support gives you confidence. Standards give you direction. When someone believes in you and still expects your best, it pushes you to rise higher than your comfort zone. It is easy to stay motivated when people are cheering for you, but the most powerful kind of support challenges you to become more. True mentors, leaders, and friends don't let you settle for less than your potential. They see your greatness even when you can't and remind you that you were made for more than average living. They encourage you while also holding you accountable to your goals. High support means surrounding yourself with people who uplift, not those who drain your energy. It means choosing relationships that feed your faith, strengthen your mindset, and inspire your progress. Support doesn't always mean soft words. Sometimes it comes in the form of honest feedback. The people who truly care about your success are not the ones who always agree with you, but the ones who tell you the truth with love. Their presence reminds you that you don't have to walk alone through your challenges. They are the ones who pray for you, guide you, and stand by you when life feels uncertain. Having that circle of support creates stability, and with that foundation, you can reach heights you could never reach on your own. But support alone is not enough. It must be balanced with high standards. Standards keep you grounded in discipline and excellence. They ensure that you do not become comfortable with mediocrity. When you hold yourself to high standards, you stop making excuses and start making progress. You learn to value effort, consistency, and integrity more than quick success. Standards are not about perfection. They are about persistence and purpose. They remind you that excellence is not an act but a habit, something built through daily choices. Even when no one is watching, your standards define your character. The higher they are, the stronger you become from within. When your standards are clear, your focus becomes sharp, and your energy aligns with your goals. When both high support and high standards work together, they create an environment of growth that produces lasting success. You learn to take correction without offense and encouragement without dependency. You grow humble enough to learn and confident enough to lead. You begin to understand that people who push you toward your best are not against you. They are for you. This kind of balance builds resilience because you know you are loved enough to be corrected and trusted enough to be challenged. When you live with this mindset, you stop seeking comfort and start seeking growth, because you know real love does not leave you where you are. It leads you to where you are meant to be. Embracing struggle and learning from it is one of the greatest lessons for anyone who desires lasting growth. Struggle is not a sign of failure. It is the birthplace of strength, wisdom, and resilience. Every person who has achieved greatness has walked through seasons of pain, disappointment, and difficulty. These moments test your faith, reveal your character, and shape your destiny. When you stop running from your struggles and start learning from them, you discover that they were never meant to destroy you, but to develop you. The very challenges you thought would break you often become the reason you rise. Struggle teaches what comfort never can. It refines your purpose, deepens your patience, and reveals the power that lives within you. When you face difficulties, you have two choices: to complain about them or to grow through them. Growth begins when you stop asking why it's happening and start asking what it's teaching you. Every trial carries a hidden lesson. Every setback carries a seed of strength. Pain is a powerful teacher because it strips away what is unnecessary and shows you what truly matters. It builds compassion, humility, and endurance. People who avoid struggle often remain stuck, but those who embrace it move forward with new wisdom. Struggle stretches you beyond your limits, showing you how capable you truly are. It challenges your beliefs, sharpens your focus, and teaches you how to depend on faith rather than fear. When you learn to see struggle as preparation, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start realizing you are being trained for something greater. Just as muscles are strengthened through resistance, your spirit is strengthened through hardship. Every time you overcome something hard, you become more confident, more capable, and more courageous. You begin to trust that even in the darkest moments, there is purpose working behind the scenes. Struggle often feels heavy, but it is shaping the strength you will need for the next season of your life. It builds endurance for the blessings ahead, and maturity to handle the success that is coming. Without struggle, you would never learn perseverance. Without pressure, You would never discover your power. Learning from struggle also means forgiving yourself for mistakes and using them as stepping stones. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. Every mistake carries information. Every disappointment carries instruction. When you learn to extract wisdom from what went wrong, you gain an advantage that comfort could never give you. You stop fearing failure because you realize it can no longer defeat you. It can only develop you. Struggle gives your story authenticity, your voice authority, and your heart empathy. The lessons learned in hard seasons become the strength that carries you through future storms. When you look back, you begin to see that every challenge, every loss, every delay was shaping you into someone wiser, stronger, and more complete than before.